I've been hearing a lot lately about people are hollering shenanigans and filth. I've been hearing a lot lately about a kerfuffle. People are hollering shenanigans and filth and flandering filth over a recent policy change at YouTube. It seems that a policy that was designed to keep language clean in the first 15 or 20 seconds of a video has gone beyond too far. But word is, change may be coming. Let's look into that. Here we go. So, way back in November, and largely under the radar, YouTube changed its language and monetization policy. I think there was a little violence thrown in there as well. And it seems that videos or streams containing bad words in the first 7 seconds are deemed bad now. Misbehaving. Criminal. As someone who doesn't use a ton of cursing on my videos or in the majority of my live streams, this really isn't going to affect me. I have managed to convey my thoughts without using a lot of curse words. It did, however, start to affect a ton of creators when it came to monetization, and nobody really could figure out why. And the people seemingly most affected here were the folks in the gaming sphere. In fact, it didn't just hit them in real time, it actually hit them retroactively as well, which seems kind of like a problem to me. It turns out that even though the new rule hit back in November, creator-made videos from much before that, way before that, were being dinged retroactively. This seems kind of dangerous and a little more than suspect. Also, I've been confounded by YouTube's rules when it comes to adult language. There's something going on there broadly, and it's this. In order to get compliance with COPPA, C-O-P-A, and other restrictions, you actually, in order to have a YouTube account, you have to actually be 13 years of age or older. YouTube also offers several varieties of parental controls that you can restrict account access and things like that. So locking down stuff that young folks shouldn't see or be exposed to, yeah, all that's already available. It just requires an adult in the room to solve this problem. But kids at 13 are actually being exposed to adult language fairly regularly. The MPAA is fairly strict when it comes to guidelines with PG and PG-13 films. Yet at 13, kids can access that violence, partial nudity, and even drug use. In fact, even the F word can be utilized in PG-13 films. Sometimes if it's more than once, it gets dinged, but for the most part, it's not very strictly followed any longer. And this particular thing with YouTube is hitting some pretty major channels now. Many of them, actually, including some with millions of subs, like RT Game, which is fascinating to me. They're cutting their nose off to spite their face here because YouTube is actually hurting their own revenue and in some cases driving creators to new spaces like Rumble and Odyssey and similar platforms. And I really can't blame them. People are going to build up those communities like they were doing here, and they're going to do it at an accelerated rate because people will migrate with the creators that they enjoy. So why are they doing this? So yeah, I have no answer for that part, but I strongly suspect that this is going to drive people that are watching those high profile channels and counting the curse words so that when they don't want their favorite creator to be hit, they'll point at another channel. And this thing is going to turn into a long string of dominoes that I don't know that they'll ever be able to recover from. I do suspect that there'll be some people confronting YouTube directly if their channel gets dinged for monetization reasons, and another channel that's, guilty of the same thing isn't, even if it's within the same context or perhaps even playing the same video game. Highlight some uneven enforcement and maybe draw some interest from regulators and lawmakers that perhaps things are not being handled very well on your platform. Could actually even generate lawsuits. I don't know. I do know who's paying attention to this, though, and let me tell you, they don't like what's going on as far as the coverage of this, but YouTube's paying attention finally. And it seems that the last 2 weeks of complaints has been starting to have an effect, And they probably don't like the negative publicity of many articles now that are being written across multiple different digital publications. I mean, this is definitely not what Mama Susan ordered. Michael Asserman, I think that's how you say his name, a YouTube spokesperson, recently made a statement about the possible changes to the policy, because I think they had to say something. And I'm using quotes because this is his words. In recent weeks, we've heard from many creators regarding this update. That feedback is important to us, and we are in the process of making some adjustments to this policy to address their concerns. We will follow up shortly with our creator community as soon as we have more to share. And that sounds all hunky-dory, right? But it's little solace for the creators that are dealing with this at the moment and that have been hit by it retroactively. I think they're probably more than a little steamed. In fact, it's also possible that like some gaming streamers in particular are probably feeling a little bit under siege by a platform that practically begged them to come over from other streaming locations like Twitch. And it turns out, and didn't even realize this till recently, that they've made some changes as well to the violence part of the policy that's also hitting gamers. So I'm not really clear on what that is, but if that's the case, how do you play games like Cyberpunk or Call of Duty or gosh, almost anything? Can't play Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs. These are major games for major gaming companies. How do you think they feel about not getting the kind of free publicity from some of the top-end streamers if they can't play the game on the platform? Seems to be at odds with business. Again, after a few weeks of negative articles, I would wonder if we won't see changes about that as well. Once again, I have many questions for the motivations of YouTube. And on many fronts. I mean, supposedly there's a change in there where creators could potentially be penalized and have money removed from their bank accounts if they come in violation of some kind of a YouTube policy. I think we need to have some lawyers look over this new change if it's actually something that exists. I haven't had the opportunity to dive into it yet, so I can't say for sure, nor would I, that it exists. But if that's the case, I think you're going to see some lawyers here. I know that PayPal got a chance to see some lawyers. I know that you could end up building another platform for somebody really quickly with decisions like this. This is gonna get out. People are gonna get pissed. Anyway, what do you think? Is profanity a big deal on YouTube? Is it something that turns you off of a video or a live stream? For some people, I imagine that's true. For others, I would imagine that outside of making sure your young children aren't in the room, I would imagine you won't mind a few bad words here and there. But I just want to know if you think it's a big deal. And are you likely not to follow a creator who spices up their language occasionally? I think that's a good question. I follow people who use the occasional bad word. It's okay. I'm an adult. And do policies like this even remotely protect children? Because I don't think they do. And I think you can't use the kids as the stopping point here, because I think it's really about advertisers and the fact that right now anything that's ad tech supported is kind of in big trouble. Anyway, feel free to add your answers down below and questions as well. I would like to know your thoughts. I want to hear what you think. I think that's wonderful. It actually helps inform my opinion. And before you click away, because I know a lot of you probably getting ready to hit that button, can you do me a favor? Just hit that like button down below. If you just click at it, it really does help the video, because likes as a function of, a ratio, count as engagement, and the more engaged you are with content, the better it is for me and pretty much for all other creators. And it seems trivial when we say, hey, can you drop a comment, can you answer a question, whatever. It's really not. That engagement actually does help a channel grow. So if you don't mind, for me and for other independent creators, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and just say hi. That's great. With that, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, and don't forget to check out my Rumble at rumble.com/CultureCasino.
Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.